All right, everybody. Let's do it. Let's talk about this. Because I have a fellow warrior who is now at that stage of um, connecting dots with the flying monkeys. And so I just want to give a quick shout out to Corinne Contrell. Thank you for inspiring the topic for today's Let's Just Chat, because it's very important to not forget about the fact that narcissists have flying monkeys. Okay, and those are, yeah, those are people that the narcissist has befriended, if you will, or recruited. Better term. Yeah, it is the narcissist recruits others to do their dirty work, right? Okay, to do their bidding. And so you have a master narc who will send a couple of their flying monkeys, one or two even, okay, across our path to see if we are still naive, or to test for our level of awareness about them, to try and see if there's any weak spots that the master narc can use. And so that's what I realized happened with the Jezebel case study. Oh, yeah, she sent a flying monkey to book sessions first, long before she did. Oh, it didn't take me long to connect the dots when I realized that they only lived 30 minutes away from each other. And I now know that the Jezebel case study target female with blonde hair and blue eyes. Didn't take long to make that connection. So I was like, okay, so that's what they did. And they both used their narc mothers as the storyline, if you will. And you know what? We can believe it because, well, they're narcissists themselves, trying to pass themselves off as chosen ones. So you got to watch out. It's all about that discernment. Okay, so we've got to watch out for that. So while those notifications are going out, let me go ahead and do our usual. And so, yeah, it's switch up season. I want to call it that. Yeah, switch up season. So y'all gonna see some different stuff going on. Oh yeah, we trying new stuff, new combinations and all that. God says switch it up. Remember, he does that. And so we're gonna go ahead and do our usual check. Let me look at the minutes here, because it usually takes 5 minutes or so. So we're gonna go ahead. There we go. Hello. Yes. Okay. Yes, the term flying monkey does come from the movie Wizard of Oz. When you think about the Master Narc and you think about the Wicked Witch of the North, that's not a coincidence. You know, if you think about that movie, it really does tell us what we're dealing with. Yeah, chosen one. So you look at the character of Dorothy as one of us, right? Caring, yeah, empathetic, all of that, right? And then the Wicked Witch of the North sends her flying monkey. I mean, you really think about all of that to kind of spy on and see what Dorothy and her crew are up to. So the Wicked Witch of the North would know when would be the best time to lure, because she wants those red slippers, right? Now, we know what those red slippers represent, don't we? For those of us who went down the rabbit hole, yes, we do. We know exactly what those red slippers represent. For those who don't, it's part of the demonic realm. That's all I'm going to say about that. Nothing wrong with wearing red shoes if that's what you have. I mean, I'm just saying, be mindful of that. Okay, you don't want to give off the wrong impression, but there's a reason why those slippers in that movie were red slippers to take her back home. Right. So, right, there you go. Exactly. You got it. And it's really that simple as to what we're dealing with when narcissists are involved, especially the master narcissist, because they need to know if there is any wiggle room. So I am going to share, some examples, especially in the workplace, because flying monkeys will breadcrumb. Yep, they will breadcrumb. And so customers in the work, when you're at work, customers who are flying monkeys of a master narc you may be working with will come in and breadcrumb. Okay? To see if you will fall for it or if you will take the bait. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but real quick, I want to go ahead and let y'all know. Patron, yes, we finally are back in business. There was a tech issue going on, I don't know, last weekend. And I was patiently, well, they got back to me, but they fixed it apparently. And I didn't get the notification. But there is it's a little bit of a longer Truth Analyzer podcast episode up on the Patreon channel now. It's where I talk about how, walking after your fleshy desires, it leads to spiritual death, because that's what these narcissists do. Chosen ones, we outgrow all of that. We no longer have any desires of the flesh to be pleasing, because we're like, ew. We're kind of like, in a really ironic way, as we grow and mature, we kind of revert back to when we were young kids and we would see two adults getting all mushy gushy and we were like, ew, right? Okay, well, that comes back. I couldn't think of a better way to put it. Anyhow, so it's up and waiting on you. It's about an hour long. So that's okay. That's okay. Usually their episodes are around 30 minutes, but guys, if we don't have to keep them all at 30 minutes, don't put limitations on God. Okay, so there, I wanted to get that announcement out there so you all would know that it is available and we are back in business. So it was just, I don't know, tech glitch, what have you. It would not upload my audio file on Patreon last weekend, so it took most of this week for it to iron out. So, that being said, yes, I am Michelle Dickey, your host for CHA's Truth. Let's Just Chat show. Streaming on the YouTube channel, Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance, where trauma healing and spiritual growth are front and center while combating radio frequency for healthier living. Okay, yes. All right. That term flying monkey, again, it comes from the movie The Wizard of Oz. Absolutely. And it really is the best analogy, because it is what the narcissists do when they recruit who they would call a friend. And they tell their friend to go, okay, here's the scenario. This is how it works. Master Narc spots the target. Has to study them for a time, right? Remember, these narcissists study us from a distance before they will approach. Okay, once they have fixated on us as a target, they will study us for a time. So, as they're studying us, they're sending flying monkeys across our path to collect data. See if find out if there's any weaknesses, if there's any vulnerability still? Do we have boundaries set yet? Are we aware? What's our level of awareness about them, right? Okay. And then also, to see if they can't figure out your likes and dislikes, to figure out what they can try and mimic to say that, oh, we must have this in common, right? Remember, because they like to mirror, okay? They try to mirror their targets. Well, they do, but we got to remember that they'll oftentimes send a flying monkey first before they will make their approach. You see, that's how it goes. And that's what that movie, The Wizard of Oz, basically tells us. Okay? And yeah, I know that Jezebel pop in from time to time to see if I'm in pain and suffering. I know we're not. We're doing just fine, thank you. Oh, by the way, thank you, Holy Spirit. Those of you who are on this detox journey with us, and we had that question, while it's on my mind, I got to get it out here because we got lots to cover about the flying monkey, but we have to add more to kind of pop in every now and again. So stay with me. Okay, but okay. We had that question, if there's a way to avoid eating salt for a day. Well, yeah. Okay, there's a way. And it would require not only just, fasting, but intermittent fasting is a good idea to go ahead and if you want to avoid salt for a whole day, okay, make it a day where you're doing intermittent fasting. Now, I cannot guarantee that it is 0 milligrams by doing this, because we do know that there might be a little bit of sodium in some of the vegetables and fruits. I don't know, but I'm not going to even, that to me, if there is, it would be, gosh, it would have to be very, very little. But I do know that oatmeal has 0. I do know that unsalted rice cakes had 0 milligrams of sodium. I do know that almond butter, creamy almond butter, if you find it, an all natural, have one ingredient, just almond. No salt, no oil, no nothing. It's all natural. And that's what I find. That's what I get. So if you have those 3 items, and you're doing intermittent fasting, those 3 items to munch on here and there, you're not going to take in any additional sodium. You're not going to take in any. And then the occasional fruit here and there, right? Fruit and even a vegetable, like one of our superfoods. But see, even our superfoods might have a very small amount. So it's possible. But you're going to you're going to have to be very intentional with it. It's not easy. Okay. I have yet to try it myself, but I've thought about it quite a bit. And I said, yeah, you can do it. It's doable, because with God, all things are possible. But you're going to have to want to be very, very dedicated. And I would suggest not doing it on a work day. Okay. Seriously, do it on an off day, okay, when you're not at work, because boy, that can, oh yeah, because you're going to have to keep your focus. Okay, right. Do I want to eat another unsalted rice cake? Yeah, you can, because there's no salt in it, but you want to, it's just, it's very limited. I could tell you, it is very limited, but you can do it. Oatmeal, unsalted rice cake, the almond butter with just almond, okay, nothing else added, and then your fruits, some fruits in between, grapes, bananas, even, there might be some sodium in them, but I'm not even I'm just gonna, but I know that the potassium level will be a lot higher in those things, okay, so there you go, it's possible. But you got to want to do it. Okay, now, right, and see, if people don't have patience to stick around for me to get back to the topic when the Holy Spirit steps in and wanted me to give that to you all, because of the simple fact that, it is possible. Because we talked about it previously, and they don't want to stick around to wait for us to get back to talking about narcissists and flying monkeys, then they're just monitoring spirits as far as I'm concerned. Because those of you who have been with us for a while, you know how we roll. And then again, I know some people have Wi-Fi issues, but whatever. But we also know that Jezebels like to check in every now and again. You know, sometimes the and more, it comes and goes. That's why we have the and more in the title. Okay? But yeah, flying monkeys. Okay? Because it's something that we do go through as we learn what they do and how they do it. And when we catch on that they're a flying monkey, well, it just becomes, it becomes more obvious. But usually, for example, the last toxic workplace, when I identified the narc manager, okay, I knew he was a narcissist because, well, yeah, there were 3 Jezebels that worked in the office as well. As far as him being a Jezebel, I did not get that, but he definitely the narcissist. And yeah, I did not get psychopathic or sociopathic tendencies with him. I did not sense it. But I did with the Jezebel, the ladies in the office, the 3 of them. And then the 24-year-old boy was also, fast, if not already become. So, anyhow, spoiled brat 101 right there. He was, oh gosh. But anyhow, when I first started working there, it probably didn't take, a few weeks, and a lot of information had been exchanged between me and my immediate supervisor. So kind of got to know him a little bit, but I don't get personal with coworkers, so, there you go. I kept it work related. And a customer comes in. He's outside doing something with the plant, and a customer comes in and is basically like indirectly love bombing that narcissist, like talking all kinds of sweet talk about him and things like that. And I was like, okay, that's weird. I was like, that was too obvious. So I picked up on the fact that they were breadcrumbing. I said, that's one of his flying monkeys because it's one of his customers. So you got to keep that in mind too, that master narcs in the workplace, they will have flying monkey customers. So watch out for that. For anybody who's in, well, most workplaces are involved in some sort of customer service. So of course we're going to have customers, and then clientele basically. So we want to be mindful of that and don't fall for those tactics because that's what they're doing. Yeah, don't fall for those tactics because that's what they want. Okay, they want to see if you will slip up maybe and say something about the master narc. Well, no, I didn't take the bait. I basically ignored. I let them finish speaking. Remember, we learn from God's laws and principles. Okay, we learned that let the fool finish speaking first. And so while that customer was indirectly love bombing my immediate supervisor who was outside, I'm pretty sure he sent her in there to kind of collect data to see if, because I knew what was going on there, all right, because he was mirroring my empathy. So it was kind of like a high school thing. Think about that. They live in high school. So think about how when somebody, and it's happened to most all of us, okay, same tactic, all right, that the immediate supervisor used with that customer trying to see if because he was developing whatever he thought he was crushing and was trying to see if I would be interested. No. So I basically, told, the customer, I let them finish speaking first. Okay. And I kept it work related. Okay. So I said, well, okay, thank you. What can I help you with? So we turned it right back around. I did not take the bait. I was not going to fall for that because we remember from high school how they did that, right? All right, some dude or some gal might be crushing on us from afar, but because they don't have the courage to approach us directly right away, they want to find out if we might just like them a little bit, if we might be interested in dating them. And so they'll send a flying monkey, just like in high school. Hey, you know my friend over here? Yeah, my friend. Yeah, he/she. It kind of like interested and wants to get to know you. So what's your take on that? I'm paraphrasing here, but y'all know what I'm talking about. When they used to do that in high school. And we used to think it was so cute. Not anymore. Not anymore. Not in God's reality. Because, right. But that's what the immediate supervisor was doing. And he was, as far as I recall, he was definitely 20 plus years older than me. And I was like, no. Okay. I mean, I know age is just a number, but I would not know. I mean, seriously, it's like, no. I knew because my intuition said the timing is all wrong. Everything is on God's time. So I said, the timing is all wrong. And it just did not sit right with me. So that's how I learned how they mirror our empathy back to us through the eyes. Because like I've shared before, it was that one right there one day. Was trying to get me to think that I was. Remember, we're in a spiritual battle for the mind. So the devil will use his flying monkey narcissist. You see how it's a trickle down? All right, so the devil will use his flying monkey narcissist, try and trick us, right, into falling from grace. And we do fall from grace time and time again. Now we're in repentance and we're more aware of, hold up a second. We don't want to fall from grace anymore. God tells us, yes, we do. We fall from grace. Okay? Because we were once sometime darkness. But now, okay, as we get this level of awareness, start paying attention when a narcissist could be sending a flying monkey. Now, I understand that on the internet and social media site, that can be a little dicey. So this is why we must learn how to test the spirit by the spirit. Okay? We must learn how to test the spirit by the spirit because it can be sometimes a little tricky. But I will tell you this, okay? I will tell you that Jezebel case study, I started catching on to what she was doing when she would go over to my Quora page or spaces, and she would just sit there and upvote like, I don't know, 30, 40. I don't know how many they allow you to upvote in one day, but yeah, they do have a limit, by the way. But yeah, she would do that every once in a while, and I was like, that feels like love bombing. And it is. It's love bombing. But she had sent one of her flying monkeys across my path months before she made her approach. Months before she booked a session. All right, because wanted to see if there was any wiggle room to see just how aware I was. Now, mind you, within the first few months, I started to sense, I don't think this one's serious about healing from trauma. This is starting to feel like she's just putting on a show. This is starting to feel like, yeah. But virtually, it was a little challenging. I could not see the snake pupil virtually. God needed me to see those. And so he knew what was going to happen. He knew I was going to go down there and get the confirmation in the physical. Okay, but that all started with flying monkey first. Okay, and so, right, I would tell y'all something. To Jezebel, they will always send a flying monkey first. Okay, they will always. That's right. Now, regular run-of-the-mill narcissists that have not graduated to Jezebel yet, they may not send a flying monkey. It just depends on who the target is, the situation. It depends on a lot of things. Let's drop it in the comments below if y'all can think of anything else to share about what to watch out for with these flying monkeys of narcissists, because anybody that you meet for the first time that starts asking a bunch of, so what's your favorite this? What's your favorite that? That should signal a red flag right out of the bat. You just met them, and now they want to know what's your favorite this. Right? They're trying to determine what your likes and dislikes are, to take that data back to Master Narc, or it could be a regular run-of-the-mill narc himself. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have that discernment, but also watch out for things like that, because normal people, we don't do that. Well, remember, I've got a video on this channel that I ask and talk about who gets defined normal. We do. Okay? Well, God does first, but he shows us. All right? And basically, it is by continuing to engage in righteousness, doing what's right, which is what these narcissists and their flying monkeys do not do. Because they want to know as much as they can about their target, right, so that they know what role they should play to try and, exactly, to try and lure us in to their web of deceit. So, excuse me, why wet my whistle. So once they feel they have enough data collected and they start conjuring up whatever persona that they're going to put them, that they're going to put on in front of you, their target. And so that's what that Jezebel case study did. She tried too hard to mirror me. And that's when I started catching on. Because I said, wait a minute, how would she know? I have not even said anything about this to anyone. As far as what people have told me over the years, like things like having a good head on my shoulders, and other things that stood out. I went, wait a minute. Because that was a compliment that I've received over the years. How would she even know? But then we learned Jezebel passed the baton on to each other in the spiritual realm. So it's not that the human host themselves knew about that. It's the fact that the Jezebel spirit that has control of them, okay, their mind, it's the Jezebel spirit that would remember, that would know that. Because the Jezebel that gave birth to me was around when somebody paid me that particular compliment. And so all of a sudden, this Jezebel case study was telling me that, her mom used to always get mad because people would compliment the same thing. And I was like, really? That's fascinating. I did not let on. Listen, when I turn a narcissist into a case study, I'm not going to tell them. Duh. I'm not going to tell them. When they get turned into a case study, they don't know. Just remember that. So, yeah, and luckily, the Lord revealed to me that I shouldn't, no, there's not going to be any more Jezebel case studies. We've got plenty. Okay? And the thing is that they will always send their flying monkeys. And oftentimes, don't forget that if the Jezebel is married, their spouse is likely going to be one of their flying monkeys. Never forget that. Narcissists get married for love. No, they get married for supply. And then they also get married for a partner in crime, if you will. Okay, they get married to put on that persona. Because we live in a society that, oh gosh, yeah, remember, we've been lied to since birth about a lot of things. But we live in a society that pushes that whole narrative of go to school, graduate, if you desire, go to college, but get married. Yeah, right, get a job, get married, have kids, get a dog and a cat, or a couple of dogs, a couple of cats, whatever, a lizard, if you so desire. Had to throw that in there. Okay. And then, get your house, a white picket fence, settle down and work your career and then retire, and that's that. I'm like, wow. What a boring life, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we learned that's one of the biggest lies ever told. But that's what these narcissists do, because they conform to the world. That's what that's what their parent did. That's what their grandparent did. That's what the chosen one. We learned that that doesn't. Yeah, once you are made aware of, hold on a second. Wow, that's like growing up on an assembly line. Anyhow, chosen one, we like to be creative. We're co-creators with our creator. But narcissists, no, they're not. They're not original. And so when they don't know enough information about their target, they're going to send a flying monkey. Because you got to remember also that these narcissists out here, underneath any kind of macho bravado, yeah, they are a coward. Absolutely. They are a coward. And they do not want to approach directly out of fear of rejection. Yeah. And then also out of fear of many things, and out of fear itself. Because, right, they do not take rejection well. No, they don't. And so we learned that, just let your spiritual ears pick up on stuff. Okay, that's the most important part. Because, it does become more obvious now, because if somebody comes to us and they start asking us a bunch of questions, you'll sense the leading type of questions as well. They're trying to tell you about somebody that you don't know. They're trying to tell you, hey, I know this person, so-and-so, and they're just really, really wonderful. They're helpful. They're this, they're that, whatever. And they're like indirectly love bombing. And then it leads up to, would you like to meet them? Why? We don't do that unless we know specifically. Like if y'all go out there and you say, hey, you run into another, chosen one who is trying to overcome the trauma, and you tell them about, I know a ministry that you might be interested in. Now that's different. We'll just get right to the point. We're not going to sit here and say, there's this trauma specialist named Michelle Dickey who is just blah, blah, blah. We're not going to do that. If we come across a fellow chosen one and they illustrate to us that they're in the process of trying to overcome trauma trigger, I know that if I was one of y'all and this one, I know myself, I'd be like, oh, that's awesome. And it's totally doable. I know this ministry that you might be interested in. So if I've got a business card, or I would just give them the website and I say, check it out, consult me for heightened awareness. It's just what you need to overcome that trauma. So that's it. We were straight and to the point. We're not going to sit there and try to put, right, we're not going to sit there and try to put the minister up on a pedestal. No, see, that's what's different. That's how you can discern. Because if they're coming at us and they're trying, tell, and let's say we talk about a particular food. We mention a food. We meet the person for first time. And so we get on, a lot of times that happens. When you get on the topic of foods. And let's just say I'm talking about the blood type diet. And they come out and they say, oh, you know what? I know someone else who's on that. See, now you've told them you're on the blood type diet, so they can go tell the master narc, and the master narc will start looking into it to make sure that they are on the it'll give them time to get on the blood type diet before they approach you. That's how the flying monkeys work. This is why we learn to be mindful what we tell people about ourselves, things like that. Now, that's what I'm saying, is that so if anybody comes up to me and we get on that topic and I mention that I'm on the blood type diet, and they go, oh, you know what? I know this person, so-and-so, who is also on the blood type diet. Really? Okay. Test the spirit by the spirit. Because that's how a flying monkey works. And, narcissists do the same thing. And then you've got the other side of it where master narcissists also serve as flying monkeys for another master narc. It's just a trickle down. And so think about it in the workplace. Because I know when I was delivering pizzas that the master narc, all of the little flying monkeys. Oh man, y'all listen. The flying monkeys, they'll gather, and they're the ones who will do a lot of the gossiping, along with the master narc. But they'll do a lot of the gossiping about each other, and then about whoever. They're always nice to our faces, but then we've witnessed it where these flying monkeys and their narc, especially in the workplace, even in the family. I would tell you it happens in the family too, biological family. But I've seen it. Where they're going to be nice to each other's face, but as soon as one of them is out of the picture, basically out of sight, but not yet out of mind, the narcissist will turn around and just start bad-mouthing them behind their backs. And that's what God is talking about when he talks about how they're going to be backbiters. That's what that means, backstabbers. Okay? So they're nice to your face, but then as soon as you turn around, so you watch out for that. If you happen to be in a place, store, wherever it is, this is why we observe more and speak less out there. Because whenever we see a person do that, right, they're all nicey nice to let's just say a customer, right? They're all nicey nice to a customer in front of their face. And then the customer goes, okay, well, whatever it is the customer was looking for, let's say they went and asked for some assistance, like where is this item located? And so the employee will tell them, all nicey nice to their face, we've seen this. And then the customer says thank you and goes off to go grab their item. And the employee turns around mumbling under their breath, how dare they have the nerve to interrupt what I was doing? Something to that effect. If you witness a worker do that, Yeah, or it can go the other way, right? It can go the other way. The customer can be the one that's all nice to the face of the employee, and then as soon as they get outside, I can't believe that cashier. You're dealing with a narcissist. Okay, that's a narcissist. Only a narcissist does something like that. It's part of that's unstable, right? Unstable man, right? Is unstable in all his ways. The double-minded man. So that's being double-minded. Nice to the face, and then turn around and go, how dare. You know what I'm saying? That's, yeah, God, that's unrighteous behavior. So God's like, no, I'm not going to. So you watch out for things like that. But we've heard that. We've seen it happen. And so we learned that, oh, if they will do that to that person, then they'll do it to us. And they have. Same thing in the family. Let me give y'all an example, because the Jezebel that gave birth to me and her couple of Jezebel sisters, I'm going to tell you, I don't know how many times her and one of her Jezebel sisters would have tons of conversation talking about the other Jezebel sister, and not in a so good way. But when the other Jezebel sister was around, they all came together. Everybody's nice to their face. Oh, I witnessed it a number of times. And yeah, oh gosh, and then the one sister who's not a Jezebel, was it two Jezebel? I mean, it was like triangulation galore. Okay? So they're flying monkeys. Yeah, the flying monkey can be siblings too. And so they do that. And we witnessed this stuff. And I know that before God awakened us, before we knew that's what we were dealing with, before we knew what we were dealing with, we didn't know any better yet. And so oftentimes we got tricked into engaging in the discussion sometime. We're talking about that one family member, but we knock that off when we get into God's reality, because we can see what they're doing. They're playing that same old game of narcissism, and they will triangulate each other with each other. And watch out for this too, okay? Because it's just all part of the narcissistic family dynamics. And they think it's normal. Well, they know it's not, but they think it is. They just don't know anything else because they don't have Jesus. So we got to keep that in mind, okay? Everybody, that flying monkey exists. Let's do a recap. Flying monkeys to these narcissists, they will exist in the workplace. Oh, yeah. And they can also be customers in the biological family. Okay? They'll be siblings. Okay? Absolutely. And then, in public, it can be a customer or an employee. It just, yeah. I mean, I know that goes within the workplace as there. Now, as if you're just a customer out in public. Okay, so a little bit of a difference there. But you start to notice these behaviors. And then, like I've shared before, any grown adult that exhibits temper tantrum behaviors, that's not normal. So you got yourself a narcissist right there, because they're having a bad day. And so here's another thing I want to let y'all know about the flying monkey, especially to Jezebels who are physically abusive. The flying monkey, the Jezebel will send across our path again in the future, because it did work the first time, or almost worked the first time, right? Okay, so because that's a cycle. Remember, yeah, because that flying monkey booked a session and I canceled it. And that flying monkey sent me some email dishing out not only narcissist abuse, but also I sensed the panic. And I know why. Because she was basically threatened by the Jezebel case study, her master narc, that if it didn't go well, and I don't wish that upon anybody, but the Lord revealed it to me because I was like, why is she so panicky about the fact that I'm just not going to, I'm not going to entertain that anymore. I figured out what's up. I figured out how that all went down and I'm going to try again. No. Right? And so, yeah, we took care of that. So, yes, let it be known that if I catch on that I'm dealing with a narcissist, flying monkey, or a Jezebel, if I catch on, and let's say it might take a few sessions, but if I catch on that that's what I'm dealing with, I will not hesitate to cancel and refund at some point once I've got my confirmation. Because we always test the spirit by the spirit, but because the patterns are too predictable and we're too, oh gosh, because yeah, God revealed that to me because I was like, because remember, y'all, God told me that he wasn't going to have, it was during that season where he said he wasn't going to have anyone doing individual sessions right then at that particular moment. And so when the flying monkey booked a session, I knew that was not coming from God to start with because God already told me why. And he already gave me kind of a when. Okay? And so now individual sessions are open. All right, everybody. You can check the times and days on the website. Okay? You'll see consulting and coaching session on that page. All right, and you'll see 30-minute ones, which by the way, for your first 30-minute consultation, you will get 15% off if you use BTBW15. Okay, for your first 30 minutes. And I know it's like an itch here. I don't know what's up. But anyway, so yeah, use that promo code to get 15% off your first 30-minute consulting and coaching session. Okay? But then we also have 1-hour sessions available. We have 1.5-hour sessions available. We also have 2-hour sessions available. And we have a 1 3-hour session available on Saturday evening. So, you've got the option, okay? Listen, some of y'all may not see it because it is really tiny. Because what they do is they got the 2 big pay buttons there when you go book and then you go to check. All right, if you don't see PayPal and that's what you want to use, look underneath those buttons. If you want to use PayPal, I saw the Wi-Fi click. So whenever I see the Wi-Fi flicker, I'm going to come back and I'm going to repeat. Okay, just so you all know that's why I'm doing it. Is that if you don't see PayPal on there and that's what you want to use, if you look underneath those 2 buttons, okay, you'll see a little link for other payment method. Click on that because we do take more. There are other methods available, okay, but you got to click on that little link. Now, also for anything on the website, $50 or more, you can use Shop Pay. That's on top of the button, and it tells you that. So let's say you book a 1-hour session. That's eligible for Shop Pay, meaning it'll tell you how many installments and how much. I believe it's like 4. I think it breaks it into 4 monthly installments. Okay, so you have that option as well. Anything $50 or more, that be a combination of session, books, product, digital, anything. Okay, so to get that out there for you all, so you know that's how that's set up. And it was brought to my attention that that little link for other payment methods is not always easy to see. It's not easy to catch, but it's there. It's a little bitty link underneath the button. So don't hesitate to reach out if you've got questions, okay? Yeah, it's, yeah. Some things, the way they set it up, it's just, it is what it is. But we get around that resistance. And also, continue to pay attention out there. Remember, God tells us to stay vigilant and aware for a reason. Okay? It's so important so that we catch whether or not we're dealing with a narcissist, a flying monkey. And then also don't forget that not all the time will a flying monkey be a narcissist. For example, the gentleman in one of the workplaces, toxic workplaces I was at, she's one of them, but doesn't know it yet. Well, she might now. I don't know. It's always on God's time. But she did not know that her bestie in the workplace was a narcissist and was basically making fun of her. She had no idea. But like we didn't before either, she would go along and play along with the joke or what have you, and all of that. And so, well, it's up to God. She's a believer, but got jaded like many of us did due to the spirit of religion. And so she didn't realize, a lot of times we didn't know either that we were flying monkeys. I want y'all to remember that. Before we knew about any of this, okay, yeah, I started picking up on it. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I want to say when I started approaching my mid to upper 20, I started catching on to this because there were a couple of family members who were trying to use me as and I said, you know what? I said, no. I said, that's A, that's B, and I'm going to see my way out. I told them, I said, you two work that out. I'm not doing that. I said, I'm not delivering messages. Because that's what, trying to have me play the flying monkey role again. No. And also, that's another way they triangulate. So we learned to say no. We started to catch on to that. It was like, you know what? I'm not getting involved. Those two are in somewhat of a argument. Let them work it out. Kind of like God's master plan. Let the narcs take each other out. But I was like, you two need to work that out. I'm not getting involved. No way, no how. So we start to catch on later on in life. But early on, we didn't, okay? We did fall for it. Yeah, especially if we had a sibling, right? And the sibling wants something, right? And so tells us, hey. Well, go ask mom. Go ask dad. Right? Right. We were too young. We didn't know. We fell for it. Yeah. So, yeah. And sometimes in high school, we might have fallen for it. And we didn't know that we were being a flying monkey. Right? Okay. So you got to remember that side of it too. All right. And so here's the difference I have for you all. If the flying monkey is not a narcissist, you will sense in the spirit. Right. They're not going to come. Right. If the flying monkey is not a narcissist, okay, they're not going to come. Right. They're typically, it will be a narcissist that comes and starts asking you questions. But I want to give y'all perspective here. Because in the workplace, when those narcissists there were telling the general manager thing, right, before I quit, I could sense the smear campaign happening. Okay, I sure did. But what I did was basically, she started to withdraw from from talking to me at all. Okay, so it was a little obvious there. as to what was going on. But she didn't know that she was being lied to either. She probably does by now if she has come across any of my content. Okay, she probably knows now that, she was lied to. Because we know that the flying monkey and the other narcissists will sit there and they will, that's right, they will tell a bunch of lies to try and make whoever it is their, to make another flying monkey believe that we're the bad guy talking bad about them when we're not. We haven't said nothing. Okay, and we know this. So you'll be able to tell because she got very quiet. Didn't really speak much at all. Mostly work related, yeah. And so I could tell. I said, okay, I see what's going on here because I was getting ready to quit. I already put in a notice. Okay. And so, right. And then right back to another toxic workplace, unbeknownst to me until after I got there. But as far as I know, they did not ever get a chance to start a smear campaign. So there you go. And even if they did, I don't care. But flying monkeys are used for that as well. Okay? But the one who's not a narcissist may be engaging in some, because we did once too, all right? So we have to always hold ourselves accountable. Because we didn't know any better one before. So that one. But now the narcissist who, you're right, the flying monkey who is a narcissist, they're going to be the most vocal to us, directly or indirectly. I mean, whatever. So I just wanted to get on here and cover that for you all a little bit more so that you know what we're dealing with out here and you don't get duped by a flying monkey. Okay, there we go. Gotta have that ice water. Yeah, on this detox. And even beyond, but you know what I'm saying. During the detox journey, it is more ice water, less salt intake, absolutely. So for whoever needs that reminder. And it's not for the faint at heart. Nope, it's not for the faint at heart. But we got to do it. We got to do it. All right, everyone. So that wraps up this episode of Let's Just Chat about flying monkeys and whatnot. Listen. Yeah, I'm not even. I'm not even going to say anything. All right, I know that a lot of people, when they say that, when you say that wrap this one up and they take off, that's fine. Yes. You're very welcome for today's insight and information about flying monkeys. Just some, examples and things to watch out for so you don't fall for the breadcrumbing. And so I want to say a quick thank you to all who have pledged service grant to Consulting for Heightened Awareness and all who will. To do so, you will find the PayPal link down below. And I'm aware that you don't even have to have a PayPal to do so. You can pledge your service grant. You can do it as a guest. And you can also go to the website and there is a page that says CHA accepts service grant. And you'll see several amounts listed there. If there's no amount listed there that you would like to pledge, you have a different amount in mind, that's where the PayPal link comes in. And also on that page on the website so that you can do so. And again, thank you. And everything that comes into the ministry goes right back into the growing community of spiritual warriors for Christ, for the Academy, Patreon channel, and so I can continue to bring you all God's spiritual truths, insight about the spiritual battle for the mind, and more while we combat radio frequency for healthier living. So for additional information and insight and other stuff, you can check out the CHA's Truth Seeker podcast link down below. Yep, I'll share with you all the access link because I just learned, thank you to Chris, I learned that Google Podcast is ending their subscription as of June 24th, 2024. So, and if that was your preferred way of listening to those, well, just so you know, CHA's True Secret Podcast is also on Spotify, iHeart, Pandora, Simplecast, Listen Note, Apple Podcast, and more. But I give you the direct access link to that. And you will see on that page, you will see a donate button, but we know that's what the world calls them. Okay. I know I said early on, I don't take those, and I typically don't because those would be closed shoes. Okay. But if it's a pledge financially, I call them service grants. That makes better sense. Grants. Okay. That makes a lot more sense to me. So even though the button they offer says donate for the podcast, because I'm right, this is my job. Bring you all this content. This is what I do for you all. This is what God has us doing. Yeah, He's guiding our steps every step of the way to keep getting up here and inspiring you, keeping you motivated, keeping you going in the right direction, and doing all to keep standing upright in the Lord. That's right. That's what it's all about. All right, everybody. So there you go. Don't hesitate if you're new to the channel. I highly encourage y'all to check out in the description below. Get to know us. Yeah, this ministry. Because if you're looking for a community that knows what's going on with this game of narcissism on the world stage, and you want to heal and grow, you come to the right place. That's right, at the right time, as always, on God's appointed time. 4, verse 2. Sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your support. Till next time, let's show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father, and you keep being you. In Jesus' name, amen.